Yes, the wall that you need to climb is the one that you build in your mind. The power.
Welcome to this video. Basically, this is a new style video for me. Every so often I'll do like a ghost story, and this is a story I've come across recently that I have to share on my channel. So this story is about some Marines that obviously the mission went wrong, and it'll go into great detail what actually happened in the mission, but this is quite a spooky story if you ask me. So I'm going to share this video with my subscribers and anyone else that wants to listen to this video, and what happened to these soldiers in the darkness.
On the night of March 23, 2004, Liam Collins, along with the rest of his unit, find themselves stranded when their vehicle and equipment experience sudden and unexplained failure. On a desolate stretch of unfamiliar terrain 14 miles out from base, the incident leaves them without the means of transportation and, more troublingly, radio equipment that ceases to function. In the face of this unexpected setback, the soldiers embark on a resolute journey towards what initially appears to be a rustic village, with the anticipation of seeking assistance and refuge from the local inhabitants. As the team enters the village, it quickly becomes clear that it's deserted, with empty huts and silent alleys devoid of life. Undeterred by the unsettling atmosphere, the team continues their search for occupants. However, their sergeant briefly observes a disquieting shift in the environment, as the once present winds give way to a harsh stillness that resonates throughout their surroundings. After an unspecified amount of time, a member of the team raises attention to the failure of timekeeping equipment, adding another layer of confusion and bewilderment to the team's predicament. Exercising sound judgment and deliberation on the situation, the team's sergeant ultimately chooses to reverse course and lead the team back to their stranded vehicles. Following the decision to alter their path, they swiftly become cognizant of a disquieting realization. They had inadvertently lost their bearings. Despite their best efforts to follow what they believe to be the correct path, they encounter unfamiliar areas that do not match their recollection. Driven by mounting perplexity, Private Collins, along with another member of the team, take decisive action and ascend to the rooftops of one of the many structures, seeking a vantage point that may provide with a better overview of the area. A futile attempt in the darkness of the now seemingly endless village. As the remainder of the team waited from below, a member of the unit drew attention to a caught sight of movement in the periphery of their vision. The team observed an individual, resembling what they initially assumed to be a village inhabitant, positioned on the pathway ahead. Upon an attempt to establish communication, the individual abruptly turned and vanished amidst one of the seemingly infinite pathways, eluding any further interaction. This engagement was not captured on the helmet cam of Private Collins. Witnessing this occurrence, the team decided to cautiously pursue the individual, hoping to locate other inhabitants who could provide assistance. However, as they made their way through the winding paths, a growing sense of unease settled upon the team, who became increasingly alert to the possibility of an ambush. As the team presses forward, their senses now heightened, they stumble upon a perplexing sight. Esoteric and enigmatic monuments, hanging like silent sentinels amidst the desolate village, became increasingly apparent in their surroundings. Members of the team exchange uncertain glances, with the peculiar artifacts drawing the attention of some with an almost magnetic pull. 3 members of the team, enthralled by the surreal sight before them, implored their comrades to proceed without them, assuring them of their swift return to the group. The unwavering resolve and intensity in their voices unsettled their fellow soldiers, who exchanged apprehensive glances, sensing the gravity of their comrades' fixation. Disturbingly, their sergeant was among the affected individuals, displaying an alarming fixation on the mysterious artifacts, further deepening the concern and uncertainty among the team. Tensions quickly escalated, as the affected members grew increasingly agitated by their comrades' attempts to break their fixation on the artifacts. Manifesting as verbal outbursts, the initial signs of agitation quickly escalated into physical confrontations, resulting in Collins engaging in a brief yet intense grappling match with his sergeant. As the altercation is quickly diffused, another disconcerting development unfolds within the team. One member, overcome by the mounting strangeness of their situation, succumbs to a state of mental unraveling. In a disturbing display, he begins to exhibit erratic behavior, engaging in a frenzied dance and flailing his arms in an unsettling manner that disturbs the team further. In the captured footage, the troubled soldier can be observed mouthing words, his lips moving in a desperate attempt to convey a message. However, the intermittent audio corruption that plagues this segment of the recording renders deciphering of his words an impossible feat. In the midst of these strange and disorienting ordeals, a member of the team, still exhibiting what seems to be a sound state of mind, draws attention to their current count, revealing a disturbing Private Reynolds, who had just been with the team moments earlier, inexplicably became separated from the group. In an endeavor to locate the missing member within the seemingly infinite expanse of the village, Private Collins, together with the remaining soldiers, organize themselves into pairs and establish a prearranged rendezvous point as a contingency measure, a feeble attempt to retain some semblance of control amidst their escalating situation. The mentally unraveled soldier, James Roberts, continues to exhibit erratic behavior, unresponsive to verbal communication, as he persists in his slow and unsettling movements. Their sergeant, Ethan Thompson, suspiciously elects to remain put and takes on the responsibility of monitoring James's actions. Despite their concerns, the rest of the team, driven by a sense of duty and curiosity, presses on. Privates Ryan Mitchell and Ben Anderson move ahead in a forward direction, while Liam Collins and Eric Johnson endeavor to retrace their steps, hoping to locate Reynolds. As you'll soon witness, the team's endeavor to reach the designated rendezvous point inevitably culminates in failure. As Collins and Johnson meticulously retrace their steps in search of Reynolds, a disconcerting realization can be made. Areas that can be identified as paths the team had previously traversed are now adorned with the artifacts, suspended in positions they had not occupied before. This unmistakable detail, deserving of the soldiers' attention, strangely remains unaddressed between the pair. As the footage continues, Collins's growing fixation with his surroundings becomes increasingly evident. His attention wavers from Johnson and the path ahead, becoming lost in contemplation of the peculiar objects for extended periods of time. Amidst his mounting preoccupation with the artifacts, Collins's attempts to shout and call out for Reynolds gradually fade into silence. It is at this juncture that the footage undergoes a further escalation of censorship, obscuring even more of the visual and auditory content. After what's speculated to be an approximate duration of 50 minutes, the footage resumed. However, upon the resumption of the footage, Private Eric Johnson is conspicuously absent, his whereabouts unknown. During the last remaining segments of video footage, Private Collins can be seen wandering aimlessly for hours throughout the village, his gait and demeanor increasingly peculiar. Eventually, Private Collins meanders his way to a specific area, moving with an eerie sense of purpose, as if he knows exactly where he is headed. He comes to a halt in that spot and remains motionless for the remaining 30 minutes of the recorded footage. With this final frame, the helmet cam footage abruptly ends. Ethan Thompson, James Roberts, Ryan Mitchell, Ben Anderson, Eric Johnson, Mark Reynolds, and Liam Collins are never seen again. Upon the discovery of Liam Collins's helmet cam, which is located 7 miles from the team's stranded vehicles in the Registan Desert, the team is quickly declared KIA by the US military. Despite extensive efforts, the village depicted in the footage remains elusive, and to this day, it has yet to be located.